I'm Jeffrey Weiss, and I'm your leadership coach. So Gary Vee walks into a room and says, work 18-hour days, outwork everyone else, and then sleep for a week. Half the room cheers, the other half burns out following his advice. I spent 25 years building broadcast facilities for Fortune 500 companies and small and medium post facilities and production companies across the country. I've watched a lot of people try to hustle their way to the top in this industry. Some make it, a lot don't. The ones who don't, they usually had some wrong definition of what hustle is. So today I want to take apart what Gary Vaynerchuk actually says about hustle, hard work, and leadership. Because there's a lot there. And that's totally right. And there's also something that if you're leading a post-production team or a broadcast operation can get you and your people in serious trouble. So let's get into it. If you've been anywhere in your social media in the last decade, you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. He's built his family wine business from a $3 million to a $60 million business. He's founded Vayner Media, which is one of the biggest digital agencies in the world, and has built a personal brand that reaches tens of millions of people. He talks about business. He talks about entrepreneurship. He talks about social media. He does that. He talks constantly about work ethic. The man posts more content before breakfast than most people post in a month. And that's actually relevant to what we do, because content volume and spend of production is something that every one of us in our industry deals with. But here's the thing. Gary Vee is talking mostly to entrepreneurs, people who are building their own business from scratch. The question I want to answer today is, what does his philosophy mean when you're not building your own company? What does it mean when you're leading a team of editors, engineers, colorists, audio mixers, people who didn't sign up to grind 18-hour days, but who do need to show up with real commitment and real work ethic? That's where it gets interesting. Let me start with Gary's where he absolutely nails it, and there's a lot first. First, let's talk about self-awareness. One of Gary's core messages is how you know yourself before you try to lead other people. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Stop pretending. I've coached leaders in this industry for years, and I'll tell you, the number one fail point I see in leaders is they have no idea how they actually come across to their teams. Gary's relentless about this. He says it constantly. Know who you are. And I'm with him 100%. Second is patience. And this surprises people because they see his hustle and they think, and all the content, and they think Gary Vee is all about overnight success. He's not. He constantly talks about playing the long game, the 10-year vision, the decade-long brand building. In post-production and broadcast, we know this. The people who last in this industry, the ones who build solid, real careers. They're playing the long game. They're not chasing the next gig. They're building a body of work. Third, and this is my favorite, he is adamant about you have to love the process, not just the result. If you're only in this for the credit of the title, he'll call you out first thing, and does it fast. And in our world, in an edit bay or a machine room or in a live broadcast truck at 2 a.m, if you don't love the work itself, it'll grind you down. Full stop. Fourth, empathy. People forget this about Gary Vaynerchuk because they see his aggressive social media persona. But if you listen to him for any time longer content, he talks constantly about empathy as a leadership skill. He says the most underrated skill in business is caring about the people. I've built my entire coaching career on this practice and this idea. So yes, Gary Vee, we're aligned here 100%. Now here's where I'm going to push back a little bit. And I say this with respect because Gary Vee is talking about the broad audience, and I'm talking specifically to you, the people who lead creative teams in high-pressure production environments. The hustle at all costs message, when it gets amplified literally in a post-production house or a broadcast facility, it creates real problems. Here's what I've seen firsthand. I had a guy, we worked well with each other. He was a facility manager I worked with for a few years back. The guy was deeply committed. He adopted the grind mentality hard. His team worked 12, 14, 16-hour days constantly. And for a while, the work was incredible. But then, one by one, his best people started leaving. The colorist left first, then 2 editors left, and then the sound supervisor, he took off. He couldn't understand it. He thought they lacked commitment. What actually happened was he burned out his best people and for this hustle mentality. Operation needs to, instead, you have to, it's a gear shift, not a all-out nitro. And you only do it when it's necessary. Gary Vee's hustle framework works for Gary because Gary is building his own dream. When you're leading someone else's team, or even if you're on your own team, you can't ask people to sacrifice at the same level they would if they were for their own vision. That's fundamental leadership truth. The second thing, and this is a little subdued, but very important, Gary's model can create a culture where business gets rewarded over results. I've seen this in the broadcast operation. Everyone's running around, everyone looks busy, and everyone looks exhausted. But there's actually the work getting done, it's all mediocre. Real leadership isn't about logging hours. It's about the outcome delivered. Those are not the same thing. So here's how to take Gary Vee's philosophy and translate it for creative leaders in post-production and broadcast, VFX, and in audio. Number 1, adopt the self-awareness piece completely. Before you lead anyone, spend serious time understanding how you show up. Get feedback. Ask your team, not in a group or one-on-one or privately. How do they come across? And when they're under pressure, and you might not like the answers, but you need to get them anyways. Number 2, take the long game mentality and apply it to your team's development, not just your own career. Gary plays the long game for Gary. You need to play the long game for your people. Who are you developing? Who's on your team is going to be ready for the next level in 2 years? That's the hustle that matters in leadership. Number 3, refine the hustle for those in your environment. In broadcast, hustle means being the most prepared person in the room. It means having contingency plans before you need them. And it means knowing your equipment, knowing your team, knowing your clients' expectations so well that when things go sideways, and they will go sideways, you don't panic. That's not 18-hour days. That's disciplined, strategic preparation. Number 4, protect your team's energy in the way that Gary protects his own. He's very vocal about what he does and what he doesn't spend time on. All these things. I spend time on this and I don't spend time on that. As a leader, your job is to create an environment where your best people can do their best work. That's something that means pushing hard. And it sometimes means saying, we're done for the day, everyone go home and come back tomorrow sharp. Gary Vaynerchuk has built something remarkable. And there's a reason tens of millions of people follow him. The core of what he teaches: know yourself, work hard, play the long game, and care about people. That's real, solid, and I believe it. What I want you to take away today is this: great philosophy still needs to be translated into your own specific context. Your team is not Gary Vee's audience. You are the creative professional in a demanding industry who needs a leader who knows when to push and when to protect. That's your job. And if you're figuring it out, how to do it better, that's exactly what I do, and what I work on with my coaching and my leaders. If this resonated with you, grab a copy of my Leading the Cut. It's my book. There's a link down in the description below. And if you want to talk about what this looks like for your specific team, you can book a call with me. There's a link down there too. Like this video and give it and join our community. Like and subscribe, because we're just getting started here. And you haven't seen what I have coming next. It's going to be incredible. I'm Jeffrey Weiss, and I am your leadership coach.